How's it going, everybody? In this part 3, we are going to deploy the OPSBridge suite, specifically the OPTIC and BVD components. In session 1, we prepared master and worker and deployed the core and cube system name workspaces, basically the Atom platform. In section number 2, we prepared Vertica, and right now it is up and we can connect to it. And in this section, we'll do the actual product part. So let's start. And I just, out of the screen, I uploaded the images to the local Docker registry. It just takes about 1 hour to do so. It's quite a large file, and I just didn't want to spend the time on screen, so it's already done. And we continue from the point where basically the installation of Python platform happened, and the images were downloaded and uploaded to registry. It's like 2 commands: download images, username and password, upload images, password, and that is done. So there's nothing to learn from it. Okay, so let's see where we left off. We did upload images, and now we need to create another namespace. So namespaces separate the pods logically, right? So for example, if I'll go with cube ctl get ns, at the moment there should not be an OPSBridge namespace. So I'll go like this. And basically it's cdfctl, add a namespace, so the same command would produce us an OPSBridge, which exists for like 6 seconds at the moment. Okay, and then the next thing would be installing the storage provisioner chart. It's a configuration for storage, how it operates in OPSBridge suite specifically. And I apparently need to modify the command just a little bit over here for a newer version of this thing. Okay, it's 142 instead, and there it goes. So we'll just take this whole command and we'll copy it and replace it in my own document over here. If you remember, I work with my own document that I just base on official documentation. And there it is. It's running and running. Let's see the status of our PV. And PV says everything is available, basically stating all of the LPVs that we created with the command on master and worker. If you remember, we created 3 volumes in section number 1. So that's what it's checking and attaching itself to. And then let's go to scripts and see what's inside. And we have this PV create. And PV create would attach additional the NFS volumes to the intended use by OPSBridge. So here we have an option for internal and external. External is default. I go with internal. This is a POC level setup. And I'll just write my own host name over here. Let's see. It says, well, is it in default location? It is. And do I want to do OBM, to install OBM? I'm not going to do it, so it's going to be false. And there it goes. It just creates the volumes, and some of the volumes would contain data, some of them would include logs, and one from the configurations, I believe, and other 2, I have no idea what they're for, but probably very useful. Okay, so there it goes, and we will actually run a command to see what is what. Right. So right now all of them are attached, and as you see, they are not defined and what they hold inside. So once I deploy the OPSBridge suite, it's going to be very randomized. So in some installations, volume 1 would be logs, and another one it would be volume 3, volume 4. So it affects your troubleshooting. So you need to be aware of that. Now we go to CDF home, basically a CD opt Kubernetes /scripts, and we are going to generate secrets. For this, I'll have to modify this command just a little bit because the chart file has changed. Okay, and we'll generate the secrets into /root/secrets YAML. And Do I trust it? Yes. So in the past, the secrets was kind of part of a script that you could run for the installation itself. So if you made a mistake, you wouldn't like it. But here it also it's a little bit confusing. So for example, it says, well, item DBA password key. But what it means is this password that we created for, let me show you the configuration. Where is the configuration over here? Just double click. It means the RW user, vertica underscore RW user. Why the mismatch? I don't know. But in one of the configurations that we are about to see in very soon, it actually reflected, so you can backtrace it. Okay, so what it means, it wants the default password that got created by installing the Vertica plugin on Vertica. Because we did not alter it, so it's going to be dbrw123. POC environment security is not very important. And this one is the Vertica RO user, so it's going to be dbro123 and dbro123. They are matching, yes. And from this point on, all of the passwords would be the same. Okay, all of the passwords except for one, which sneaks on you, but you need to be aware about it. Yeah, so it will be asking for password even for components that I'm not going to install, for example, OBM or RTSM or USIMDB, but well, we should not put logic into every single little thing. All right, like this, and RTSM DB, MA DB. I don't have what, I don't have an idea what this CMDB OBM RTSM password, item DI monitor password. This was actually, I know what that one is all about. Now, this one sneaks on you. It's sysadmin password, but if you try to use some passwords that you used before, it wouldn't work. It's a generated string. No, it's not that one. I'm sorry. You see, I got confused a little bit. So this is not the one. That's the master key. The master key would be generated with a length of 32 characters. You can use the online generators to store it securely or invent it yourself, or you can just let it randomize it for you. Okay, so if you keep it empty, it would just go ahead and you would just create the string for you. Now, many people get confused here specifically with the first two passwords, and when you made a mistake in those two, and you deploy the suite, it wouldn't be able to connect and process itself and configure itself. And there is no going back. You cannot just delete the namespace, delete the pods, and do it from scratch. You'll have to clear the volumes. You'll have to recreate them, delete a lot of files. It's not a lot of work if you know how to do it, but not necessarily an easy one. All right, so definitely should be looking into that. So we'll go and see if the secrets file exists, and there it is. Okay, now we will copy an example from the chart directory of values YAML, and we will modify this values now. So it's going to be nano values. Oh, come on, values. And here we need to modify several things. So for example, this is kind of a, what it's called, silent install kind of scenario, right? So you need to modify everything in the file, and then when you deploy it, it works. So accept EOA, you say true, and user agreement. Automated event creation true, reporting true, stakeholder dashboards true, OBM false, cloud monitoring false. Cool. So now, external access host is going to be master item.com. If you have a load balancer, of course, it's going to be different. Port is 443. Very important. This is a YAML file, so don't ruin the formatting. You're not going to like it at all. Okay, let's continue with it, and we'll skip to the Vertica part. Okay, so local registry, security user, everything is good. uh, embedded vertica, not embedded. And here we'll specify that it is vertica.item.com. And here you see the RW user and RO user, but they are mapped to those two. You see, they are referred to from the secrets. No idea why, but yeah. And since we did not enable TLS, because why would I have TLS in this scenario? No need. So we are going to say false over here. And then when we'll go to internal database, just to make your life easier, if you do a POC setup, no need to set it up for secured variation for the internal database, because if you need to connect it to something, just it's gonna make everything difficult. Why? No need to do it, at least in this kind of scenario. All right, then we continue a little bit further. Let's see what else we have. What else do we need to change? We need to change the very bottom of the document. Okay, there we go. Management packs, not important here. So as you see, the ledger, journal, and zookeeper data hard drive sizes are not matching what we created earlier. So earlier we created 15 gigabytes and two 8 gigabyte big volumes, but we need to adjust it here. Otherwise, it would say that there is a mismatch and your deployment would fail miserably. So I usually go with one value below, right? So we had 16 gigabytes, but I'm actually going to use 7. And believe me, it takes a lot of time to fill 7 gigabytes or 15 gigabytes of those when you monitor small environments. I mean, in my demo, I monitor like 20 hosts with Kosovo, and they barely have 300 megabytes in them. All right, credentials manager and admin related configurations, same things. I don't need to alter them. Fantastic. So I'll go and I'll say exit and save. We saved the values, and now we will go ahead and using those parameters, we'll run a command that basically feeds a bunch of files into the Helm command to deploy everything. So you just go with the enter over here. But basically, it's like Helm install deployment name, namespace, and then just names of files that we're going to use. And what it says, oh no, error calling Helm template, executing, fail, error must define database host or database URL. Templates, DB functions, template, YAML, OPSB DB validator, job YAML, item DB, include Helm lib. Must define database host or database URL. Well, maybe I forgot to change the database from internal to external. Database internal. Oh, relational database. Yeah, it says internal false, but it is internal true. So we are going to say true, and we are going to document this. This set to true, or like this. Save and save. Control X, save. And now let's see what kind of errors we made, right? So we go with kubectl get pods minus n10. What am I doing? That's not minus n. Minus a. Do we have pods in OPSB? No. Okay, so it means that we can rerun this command. Let's see the validator response. Yeah, it looks a little bit better at the moment. Okay, that's good. That's good. Mhm. Cool. So now we need to pause the recording and just go directly into the result because it might take like 15 minutes. So we're just interested in what it did for us. So let's go and jump into that section. So there it goes. Actually, it was a little bit faster than expected, so very good for us. And let's see, cube, CTL, get pods minus and OPSB, and they should be booting up. So it's very important to observe their state as it progresses, and there are many ways to do it. One of them would be using K9S. Just find them over the internet. There should be an install command which would refresh it for you. I use the watch command. So we'll go with watch minus N10 and then the same thing. And it is not showing everything, but at least gradually you would be seeing the changes over here while it deploys. And for the first time, it might take a little bit longer, like 20, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know. Depends on the speed of your POC environment. And for us there, we see a little bit of the status changing, and then there's some one-time runs which end with termination and then restart of the task. It's all very, very nice, and we just want to see the end result. But basically, that is it for the deployment. Next step would be the integration with OBM and integration with OBA. So we need to do all that, and then it's going to be super nice. So I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.